today, teacher, and you?
I'm just fine, thank you. I am just fine. Okay, your classmates are not here. Let's wait a moment, please. Let's wait a moment. It is A2. Mm, Okay, they are not here, so let's start, Paula. And this is a lesson number 12. Okay, this is the encounter number 12. And we are gonna have four encounters more, but three of them are gonna be classes, lessons, and the final one is a final speaking exam. Okay, a final speaking exam. For that reason, today I want you to tell me how have you felt during these encounters. First of all, tell me how have you felt during these encounters.
Mm, I have felt really well because I could practice my English, my vocabulary, grammar, and especially my pronunciation and fluency. And I really enjoy all the classes. And the best part to me is the production part because I can start thinking in English and start to speak and talk fluently. And in all the classes, I could improve a topic and and I could remember some grammar. And I really like it.
Okay, thanks a lot, Paula. So now, do you remember the homework?
Yes, teacher, a paragraph.
Okay, good morning, Laura. Give me a moment, Paula, please. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning, teacher. How are you?
I am okay, thank you. And you?
Fine, teacher.
Okay, very good. Welcome to the class. So, Laura, this is the encounter number 12. This is the encounter number 12. We are gonna have four lessons more. But just three classes more, and the final one is a final speaking exam. Okay, so for that reason, I want you to tell me how have you felt. First of all, today, tell me how have you felt during these encounters.
I have feeling good, teacher. I really enjoy this kind of spaces because I consider that we need to practice a lot. We need to enhance our pronunciation and our fluent in the language. So I ever think that these encounters must be more frequently.
Okay,
Maybe 3 weeks,
okay,
3 times a week could be better.
better.
I always
Okay,
I always do the same suggestion.
okay. Thank you, Laura. And
Uh,
now let's check the homework, okay? Let's check the homework. Paula, could you share your homework, please? Paula? Paula, can you hear me? Okay, so Laura, could you start, please?
Okay. To be a good citizen, you must be honest and you have to be active with your community. A good citizen follows the rules and laws and is informed about what is going on around. Also, if you want to be a good citizen, you must show respect to the rights of others, and you must protect the environment. A good
Oh,
way for being a good citizen is to show empathy and compassion with the community by serving as a volunteer for many social purposes.
okay, very good. Great, great task. Paula has problems again with her connection. Let's wait a moment, please. Let's wait a moment. Mhm. Okay, let's continue, and then if Paula can join again, she can share the homework. So I'm gonna share my screen. No, no. First of all, I am going to send you some sentences by the chat. I am going to send you some sentences by the chat. Give me a moment, please. Okay, I'm here. Okay, and these ones. Okay, open the chat, please. Open the chat and copy those sentences and paste them on a Word document, please. Paste them on a Word document, and then in the Word document try to identify the relative adverb or the relative pronouns and highlight it with a different color. Okay, you need to highlight it with a different color. That is the exercise in this part. Copy the sentence and paste them on a Word document, and then highlight the relative or adverb pronoun with a different color. Okay, Laura? That is the exercise.
Hey, teacher.
Did you finish, Laura?
Not yet, teacher. Give me a
Okay, so please
moment.
tell me when you finish and share your screen, okay?
Yes, teacher, sure. Okay, teacher, I'm done.
Okay, so can you share your screen, please?
Check this. Do you watch my screen, teacher?
No, no, I can see. I can see your screen.
Now?
Yes, now I can see. But okay, I can see the Word document. So number one,
Number one is Sarah is in love with the guy who lives next door. The
so the
relative
relative.
pronoun is who.
Okay, very good. In number two,
My sister married the man whom she's really love. The relative pronoun is whom.
okay, very good. Number three,
Betty Betty has a daughter whose name is Isabella. The
okay,
relative pronoun is whose.
who's okay,
I
teach.
bought the TV set which you recommend. The relative pronoun which.
Okay,
Um, the man whose bag had been stolen, was hungry. The
okay,
relative pronoun whose.
very good.
We
Number six,
went to hear a lecture by a writer whose books are always on the bestseller list. The relative pronoun whose.
okay,
The school where I study is really big. The relative pronoun where.
okay,
And Christmas is when people celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. The relative pronoun when.
okay, very good. So, what do you think is the topic of this class? What do you think?
I don't know. We gonna relate some topics about passive voice with relative pronouns for
No,
talking about.
the topic on this class is defining relative clauses, okay? And we need the relative pronouns to build defining relative clauses, okay? To build
Okay,
defining
perfect.
relative clauses. Okay, don't share your screen, please. Don't share your screen because I
Okay, I'm
need to
gonna
share
stop.
my screen.
Okay, teacher. Let me check.
Okay,
Mm, ¿Qué pasó acá? Opciones, ¿cómo hago esta cosa? ¿Por qué no aparece acá? Configuración de desactivar, pero no sé cómo. Teacher, no sé por qué no me aparece la opción.
dale en los cuadritos, en los dos cuadritos que están allí. Eso,
Acá.
allí,
Ok,
ahí y le
perfecto.
das dejar
Ya,
de compartir. Listo.
ya, ¿no me ves?
No, sigue compartiendo.
Ya, listo, ya.
Okay, thank you. Paula, welcome again.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay, don't worry. Share your homework, please. Okay, no, Paula has problems, unfortunately. That's too bad. Okay, so let's continue, Laura. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna show you the presentation. The presentation of this class. So this is the presentation. Can you see my screen?
I see, teacher.
Okay, so the topic in this class is defining relative clauses. Okay, we are gonna talk about defining relative clauses. That is the topic. And first, let's check the use. Okay, the use of defining relative clauses. Relative clauses give us information about a person or thing mentioned. Defining relative clauses in this case give us essential information. Okay, essential information. Information that tell us who or what we are talking about. Information that we need. We need in order to understand what or who is being referred to. That is important in the defining relative clause, that you could identify that the information is essential and you need that information, okay, to understand the sentence. A defining relative clause usually comes immediately after the noun it describes, okay, and they are built using the relative pronouns or adverbs. Use defining relative clauses to give information about a noun in a sentence. The listener or reader needs this information to understand the sentence, okay? So that is very important here. For example, a doctor is a person who cures sick people. So I need this information to understand the sentence. A doctor is a person who cures sick people. The girl who sits next to me at work has a bag just like yours. Okay, so this is essential information to understand, understand in this case about the doctor or about the girl, the information about the doctor or about the girl. Let's continue. We are going to check the relative pronouns and the relative adverbs. Okay, relative pronouns and relative adverbs. So first, let's check the relative pronouns. We can use who when you want to talk about people, okay, just people, for people, subject or object pronoun for people. For example, I told you about the woman who lives next door. Okay, I told you about the woman who lives next door. In this case, I am talking about a woman. For that reason, I use who. Which, subject or adverb pronoun for animal and things. In this case, which, you can use which with animals and things, no more. Do you see the cat which is lying on the floor? ¿Miraste el gato que está recostado en el techo? So you are talking about a cat, an animal. For that reason, you use which. And also, you use which when you want to refer into a whole sentence. For example, he couldn't read, which surprised me. Él no pudo leer, lo cual me sorprendió. So in this case, you are referring to couldn't read the whole sentence, okay, the whole sentence. So, it is a circumstance, so you use which, okay. And whose is for possession, for people, animals, and things. So when you want to talk about possessions, for example, do you know the boy whose mother is a nurse? ¿Conoces al chico cuya madre es una enfermera? So whose is just for talk about possessions, okay, possessions. Whom, this one is different. There is a difference between who and whom. This is an object pronoun, okay? This is just an object pronoun like him, her, us, or me. And it is used to talk about acts or talk about which person receives an action. Which person receives an action. For example, I was invited by the professor whom I met at the conference. Fui invitado por el profesor a quien yo conocí en la conferencia. Okay, this is different, and then we are going to check more about whom. Okay, that is a subject or object pronoun, but in this case you can use that for people, animals, and things. Okay, for people, animals, and things. And who just for people, and which just for animals and things. But that it is possible to use that with people. Okay, with people. For example, I don't like the table that is standing in the kitchen. Okay, so here we are talking about the table. So there is a thing, so it is possible to use that. Okay, that. And now let's check the relative adverbs. The relative adverbs. We have three ones. When, where, and why. Okay, so you use when you want to talk about time expressions. You will need to refer to a time expression,
Teacher,
so you use
I,
when.
teacher, could you tell me? So, you refer about that could be used with people. So
Yes,
it's correct to say somebody that I used to know or somebody who I used to know.
exactly. You can use who or that. It is better to use who, okay? It is better. But it is possible to use that with
More
people.
polite. It's
Yes,
more polite.
yes, who,
Okay.
yes. But it is possible. You can do it. But for example, you can use which no. You can use which. But that, yes, it is possible that. And who is just for people. Who is just for people. But it is possible to use that with people, animals, or things. It is correct. Okay? It is correct. You
Okay.
can do
Perfect.
it. You can do it.
Perfect.
You can do it. And now when, okay? It refers to a time expression. For example, the day when we met him. El día en cuando lo conocimos a él. Where refers to a place, just to a place, okay? The place where we met him, el lugar donde lo conocimos. And why, when you need to talk about reasons, okay? You need to refer to a reason. The reason why we met him, la razón por la cual lo conocimos. So these ones are the relative adverbs and the relative pronouns that we need to build defining relative clauses, okay? Do you have any question?
No,
Laura, do you have
teacher,
any
I don't
question?
have.
Okay,
No, teacher. No.
let's continue. Paula is here, I don't know. Okay, use who. Use who to give more information about a person, just for person. An architect is a person who designs buildings, okay? Which or that to give more information about a thing, or that also, you know, is you can use that for people, okay, for people and animals. A corkscrew is a thing which you use to open bottles. The book that you gave me for my birthday is really interesting, okay? Use where to give more information about a place, just for places. There is a place where we got married, and the town where my uncle lives is a few miles from here. Ese es el lugar donde nos casamos. El pueblo o la ciudad donde mi tío vive está a unas cuantas millas de aquí. Okay, these ones are more examples about the relative pronouns. When? To give more information about time, such as days, months, years, stages, and celebration. For example, summer is the season when I am happiest. Christmas is when people celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. Okay, in this case, I am talking about a celebration. For that reason, I use when. Whose? This is important. It is to give more information about the person that something belongs to. Belongs to. For example, he's a musician whose album have sold millions. Él es el músico cuyos álbumes han vendido millones. So, in this case, the albums belong to the musician. Okay, belong to the musician. For that reason, I use whose. Okay, it's a possession. The albums belong to the musician. Use why to give more information about reasons. Reasons. This is the reason why I love English. This is the reason why I love English. Whom. Let's check this one. Whom should be used to refer the object of a verb or preposition. Okay, not the subject, the object. When you have talked, because this one you can confuse who with whom. Okay, try this simple trick. If you can replace the word with he or she with a subject pronoun, use who. But if you can replace it with him or her, you need to use whom, okay? Because it works like an object pronoun. And also, to find out which relative pronouns to use, think on the word right after. This is very useful. Think on the word right after. If it is a verb, we can use who, okay? If the word right after is a verb, you can use who. But if not, you can use whom. For example, in this case with who, look at this. Who designs? An architect is a person who designs. The word in here is a verb. For that reason, you use who. Okay, who. But let's check an example with whom. I don't know with whom I. This is a subject. It is not a verb. Okay, so you use whom. I don't know who. And also here in this case, you have a preposition. Okay, and when you have preposition with whom, for example, for whom, you need to use whom and know who. I don't know with whom I will go to the party. No sé con quién iré a la fiesta. That is the difference between who and whom. Is it clear, Laura?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, let's continue. These ones are important facts, okay? Are important facts about the defining relative clauses. Because defining relative clauses give us essential information, no commas are needed. So you don't have to use commas, okay? You don't have to use commas with defining relative clauses. If the noun which the relative clauses describe, usually at the beginning of a sentence, this is important, is the object of the sentence, you can't delete which, that, or who. So you can drop which, that, or who, or the relative pronouns or adverb, but if the sentence is if the subject, yes, in this case, if the noun is the object, okay? If the noun is the object, if the object of the sentence, you can delete. For example, let's check these examples. The man who, in this case, the man who is wearing the blue suit is my brother. In this sentence, the man is the subject, okay? The man is the subject. For that reason, you can't delete who. You can't delete who. So you need to use who in this case because the man, the noun of this sentence is the man and he is the subject. Okay? He's the subject. But in this case, look at this in parentheses. So the man who George is talking to is my brother, or you can say just the man George is talking to is my brother. In this case, in this sentence, George is the subject. Okay, George is the subject of the sentence, and the man is the object. For that reason, you can delete, you can drop who. If you want, you can use, but it is not necessary. The sentence can be rewritten. George is talking to a man, and the man is my brother. So you can delete who because the man is not the subject of the sentence; is the object. Okay. Let's check more examples. More examples. The book, you can say that you let me is really good, or the book you let me is really good. You is the subject. In this case, you is the subject. So the book is the object. Yes, the book is the object. For that reason, you can drop that. Okay, you can drop that in this case. So which of that is not necessary? It's not necessary. But look at this example. The book which is on the table is really good. In this case, the book is the subject of the sentence. So the sentence can be rewritten, the book is on the table, it is really good. In this case, you need to use which, okay? You have to use which. The book which is on the table is really good. It's necessary in this case. In this case, you can drop the, the relative pronoun, okay? Is it clear, Laura, or do you have any question?
Not for now, teacher. I've
Okay.
always had problems with that thing with that topic about the deleting the relative pronoun. So your tips are really
Okay.
useful.
Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue. Now we are gonna practice. We are gonna practice. Let me check. Paula is not here. Okay. So let me check here. First of all, here. We are gonna practice in here first of all. Complete this defining relative clauses using who. In this case, in the sixth sentence, you need to use just who, where, whose, or that. Who, where, whose, or that. Okay? Can you see my Word document?
Yes.
Okay. So remember, who, where, whose, or that. Who, where, whose, or that. Number one.
Okay. The house where I grew up is next to the beach.
Okay, excellent. Very good. Number two.
A book has lots of short chapters. Mm, That is perfect for the bus ride to school.
That is. Okay, excellent. Very good. Number
Mm,
three.
A person, a person who knows a lot of jokes is a public speaker.
Okay, is a good public speaker. Very good. Number four.
Could you swipe the page because I can see the fourth
Okay.
sentence. Okay. We went to hear a lecture by a writer mm, whose books are always on the bestseller list.
Okay, very good. Whose books? Excellent. Number five.
The author, the author that wrote the famous book The Outsiders was only 16.
Yes, in this case you can use that or who. Yes,
Or who?
that or
Yes.
who. If you can use who, in this case, you have, for example, you have the option who. So if you can who, is better use who, but it is possible to use that, okay? It is good. So you can use
Okay.
that or who. Very good. And number 6,
It's difficult to read in spaces where people are talking on mobile phones.
okay, in places where people are talking on mobile phone. Okay, very good. So now let's listen. Let's listen. Let's listen some conversation. Give me a moment. I'm gonna open the file, the listening audio. Okay, here's the listening exercise. Give me a moment, please. Okay, so here I have three conversations. Okay, three conversations. In these conversations, people use defining relative clauses. So you need to identify, okay, identify the relative clause, the defining relative clauses, and write what you hear, okay, what you hear, write what you listen, write the expressions you can identify using the relative, defining relative clauses, okay. So let's listen. But give me a moment, I need to share my sound first of all. Give me a moment. Okay, again, and with sound. Okay, it's ready. So tell me if you can listen.
Conversation 1.
Yes, teacher, I listen.
Okay, so conversation 1.
Who is this party for?
Tim, he's the guy who I was telling you about.
Refresh my memory. Is he the guy who opened the cafe?
I
No,
I hear
that
I hear I hear the listening without echo.
Okay, so give me a moment. I have here the sound, just the sound, not the video. Let me share the sound. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, this one. Let's check with this one.
conversation 1.
Who is this party for?
Is it better?
Yes, it's better.
Okay.
Tim, he's the guy who I was telling you about.
Refresh my memory. Is he the guy who opened the new cafe?
No, that's Larry. He's the guy who just moved in to the house down the street.
Oh, the house that has the huge garage.
Yes, that's the house and that's the guy. Conversation 2.
So, where do you work?
I work for a tech company that makes business software.
Really? What kind of software do you make?
We build tools that help companies manage their money.
Really? My company, which deals with that sort of thing, might be interested.
Great. Let me give you my card. Conversation 3.
Do you know whose desk this is?
I think that is Joan's desk.
No, that's not Joan's desk. The one that has two monitors is Joan's desk.
Well then, I don't know whose it is then.
Well, somebody must know who sits here.
Right, someone. Just not us.
Okay, Laura, would you like listen again? Would you like listen again?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so give me a moment. One more time. Let's listen again.
Conversation 1.
Who is this party for?
Tim. He's the guy who I was telling you about.
Refresh my memory. Is he the guy who opened the new cafe?
No, that's Larry. He's the guy who just moved in to the house down the street.
Oh, the house that has the huge garage.
Yes, that's the house and that's the guy. Conversation 2.
So, where do you work?
I work for a tech company that makes business software.
Really? What kind of software do you make?
We build tools that help companies manage their money.
Really? My company, which deals with that sort of thing, might be interested.
Great. Let me give you my card. Conversation 3.
Do you know whose desk this is?
I think that is Joan's desk.
No, that's not Joan's desk. The one that has two monitors is Joan's desk.
Well then, I don't know whose it is then.
Well, somebody must know who sits here.
Right, someone. Just not us.
Okay, so Laura, tell me, which expressions could you identify with relative clauses in the conversations? In
I
conversation number one.
identify some teacher, but I couldn't write everything. But
Okay,
I have a sort of that.
okay,
Who is this party for?
okay,
Mm, he is the guy who I was telling you about.
very good, very good.
That's that's the house and that's the guy.
Okay,
He is the guy who moves, yeah, and I don't identify the complement. Identify, but I can write it.
okay,
Uh,
very good.
I work for a company that and complement.
Okay,
um, my company deals with sort of deeds. Uh, that expression contained a relative clause, but I can write it in a good way.
okay,
Mm,
very good.
you know whose is that desk? The one that has two monitors.
Okay, very good, Laura. Very good. You identify a lot of expression. Okay, that was idea. And now let's check as a very short quiz. It's just one question for each one of the conversation. So, in the conversation number one, who owns the cafe, Tim or Larry?
Mm, I guess is Larry.
Yes, Larry. Very good. In conversation number two, what kind of company is it? Tech company or beverage company?
The girl company is about tech.
Yes, tech company. Very good. And in conversation number three, whose desk is it? John's desk or they are not sure?
They are not sure, teacher.
Yes, excellent. Very good. Okay, very good. That is just a very small quiz about the conversation. And now let's check more exercises in here. Okay, so in this first exercise, you need to identify the mistakes. First of all, the mistakes, and then rewrite the sentence. Identify the mistakes. This sentence had mistakes, so you need to rewrite with the correct relative pronouns. Number one.
I had a hat that I really liked.
So what is the mistake?
The mistake is the use of who because we are
Yes,
talking about a object.
an object or thing. So I had, okay, the correct one is just, okay, just replacing here in this part, okay, is
Yeah,
that. Okay, very good.
that.
That or
Okay.
which is correct too.
Of which?
I use
Yes.
that or which, if it is possible. Okay, very good. In number two, try to analyze sentence number two. What do you think is a mistake in this sentence?
The mistakes I guess is which.
No, look at this. This is umbrella which you borrow it from me. In this case, you use relative clauses. You can use relative clauses when you want join two sentences, okay? Join two sentences. But the relative pronouns in this case, it is this one refers to the
It
umbrella.
could be deleted. Yes.
It, but it. Look at this. It. In this case, you can use it. It. In this case, this is the umbrella where you borrow it from me. Las cláusulas relativas las utilizamos
I
para...
was analyzing that teacher because I it doesn't fit at that position.
Sí,
But
lo que pasa es que cuando usamos una cláusula relativa, aquí en esta parte, unimos, ¿cierto? Unimos dos oraciones. Entonces, it se está refiriendo ya a la sombrilla. Entonces, algunas veces cuando ya unimos las oraciones necesitamos quitar ese pronombre porque ya lo estamos reemplazando con la cláusula. Eso es lo que nos reemplaza. Entonces, en este caso, yo ya no puedo decir otra. Esa es la sombrilla que me pediste prestada, ¿cierto? Entonces, otra vez me estaría refiriendo a la sombrilla. So, it is not correct to use it in this case, not it, not it. Just, this is umbrella which you borrow from me, okay?
Okay.
This is umbrella which you borrow from me. It is not necessary the pronoun it because it replaces which, okay? Because you are talking about the umbrella, okay? Number three. In number three,
In three. I guess the use of who
yes.
we it's correct to say mm, which or
Look at this. I can see the woman. I can see the woman. Her glasses. Her glasses we found. What is the relative pronouns that you use to talk about possessions?
whose.
Yes, exactly. That is the pronouns. Whose, but I need to drop her. Her. Okay?
Yes, teacher. I was thinking about that. If you use whose, you have to delete
Okay,
that.
her. Yes, because you are replacing whose by the relative, in this case by the possessive adjective. Okay? I can see the woman whose glasses we found. No puedo ver a la mujer cuyas gafas encontramos. Okay? In this case, we are talking about the possession. Very good. Number four.
Mm, I talked to a man was I talked to a man that was very sad.
Yes, or who? Who? Who was very sad.
Who was
Yes,
very sad.
who or that. If you can use who is better, okay? I talked to a man who was very sad, okay? Who was very
Okay.
sad. Number five.
Mm, I read a story whose writer you
Yes,
delete.
who write it. And we can use its. Its. It is not necessary. And you replace it by whose. Yes? You read a story
Yes.
whose writer was really famous. Very good. Number six.
Mm, you have to delete it.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Because you are replacing by that, okay? Bring me
Yes.
the lamp that is on the table. Very good. Number seven.
You are. It is the book that about. You are using in the set to in two times that.
That exactly. So this one is not necessary. Is that
Yes.
the
The
book?
book
Is
you
that the
bought.
book you bought? No more. And in the last one,
We'll go to the restaurant where there is such a. Mm, when teacher, you have to delete that.
okay,
You have to use where.
where exactly? Because there is a place. Okay, excellent. Now, what is this exercise? Here you have two different sentences, okay? Two different sentences. So you need to combine both using the appropriate relative pronoun and make any necessary change, okay? Make any necessary change. So you need to create just one sentence using our defining relative clauses. Number one,
The book is about a lawyer who is accused of murder.
okay, very good. It's about, okay, just let's do it a thing better, okay? is a lawyer. So who
With
say who is? Yes, exactly. Who is? Who is accused of murder? Okay, very good. Excellent. Number two. Number two.
okay. Tim will never forget that day. Mm, I guess that we can use Tim will never forget that day. No. Tim will never forget the day when he joined the army.
Exactly. So it's when in here when he joined the army, and it is not necessary to say that day. Okay, that day no, because we are replacing that day, but when.
Yes.
It is enough. It is enough. Very good. Number three.
I heard the song mm, that shocked many people.
Okay, very good. So it is not necessary. It. It.
Yes.
I am replacing it by that. That shock many people, or also which. Very good. Number four.
This is the book that wasn't available in the library.
Okay, so let's replace but that. Very good. In number five.
This is the city that I've played hundreds of times.
Okay, and also you can use which. Yes,
Yes.
which or that. So which better. Which I play
And
it hundreds of times. Or
delete,
that.
delete it.
Yes, it. Very good. Okay, number six.
I met a friend last week whose daughter is an
Astrologist. Okay,
astrologist.
so instead of her, we write whose. Yes, whose. Okay. I met a friend last week whose daughter is an astrologist. Very good. Number seven.
This is the house where Jean lived when he was young.
Okay, when Jean lived is not
Where?
necessary. Okay, sorry, excuse me.
Where?
Where? Okay, this is the house where Jean lived. Is not necessary in that house. Okay, in that house. We are replacing that part by the relative adverb where. This is in the house where Jean lived when he was young. Very good. Number eight.
We saw the cottage. Mm, where Wordsworth lived.
Yes, exactly. What was lived, where Wordsworth lived, and it is not necessary there. We need to delete there. Okay, need to
Yeah.
delete there. Number nine.
John is my friend whose car was stolen from the park.
So without his, and just we wrote whose. Okay, whose car was stolen from the car park. Very good. And the last one.
I never met a man. I've never met the man who helped me this morning.
Okay, very good. So instead of him, we can use who. Okay, who.
Yes,
That is the
teacher.
way. That is the way of relative clauses work. Okay, that is the way. That is the way. Very good, Laura. So
Yes.
now you are gonna write a word. You are gonna write a word relating to each relative pronoun. Not each one. Just let me write here. Let me write in the chat. Who, relative pronouns. Who, where. Okay, where, when, whose, and one more. Who, where, when, whose. What else? Okay, let me check. Just five. Just five. I missed one. What else? And the other one is which. Okay, which. Who, where, when, whose, and which. These ones. Just these ones. Or yes, that just these ones. Okay, let me check. Okay, five. So you need to write a word relating to these relative pronouns, relating to these relative pronouns of adverbs, and then you must make the description. Okay, make the description for the word using defining relative clauses. For example, for the relative pronouns who, you write doctor. Okay, you write doctor, the word doctor. So you make the description. Is a person who cures sick people. Okay, that is the description. The idea is that it was that your classmates guess, but in this case, I have to guess. Okay, I have to guess your words or your places or your yes, the words you write. The word you write. Is it clear, Laura? Laura, did you understand the exercise?
I understand this exercise, teacher. It's good.
Okay, so take your time and tell me please when you finish. Okay, tell me when you finish.
Yes, teacher.
Thank you.
I finished, teacher.
Okay. So, tell me the description of the first word.
Is a person who design houses or buildings.
Is an architect?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, very good.
Mm, is a place where people used to go for exercising or playing with the children.
Is it a park?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Next
Mm,
one.
is the day when your relatives celebrate a birth.
Okay, is the birthday?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
Mm, is a Colombian writer whose
Okay.
book won a Nobel.
Is Gabriel García Márquez?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm, things which are used for writing.
Pens or pencils?
Yes, teacher.
Pens? Okay. Very good, Laura. Excellent. Okay. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very good. Very good. So now let's check the final. Okay, here. Let me check. Let me share my screen again. Let me share my screen again. Very good. And let's check the final test. Is in here. I will my Word documents. Okay, is in here. And this one. Let's check this one. Okay, let's check two. No, first just this one. Okay, just this one. And here and here. Close this one. Let's wait a moment, please. Okay, here. Let's check this one. 10 questions. We have 10 questions in this quiz. Can you see my screen?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so there are 10 questions in this quiz. So read the grammar, okay, answer the question, just answer the question. Which word goes in this space? Which word goes in this space? Which word or what?
Which, teacher?
Which, very good. Why?
Because it's referring to the mountain, to the
Yeah,
object.
the object, very good, excellent. Number 2, in which sentence can you delete who? Can you delete who? In which one can you delete who?
You can delete who and the second one
Yes, in the second one, very good. What is the reason?
because the person where I talk about is the subject of the sentence.
In this case, the man is the object. Yes, is the object.
Yes.
The subject is
Uh,
I. I. For that
yes.
reason, you can delete, you can drop who. It is not necessary. In the other two cases, it is necessary because there is the subject, the man. Okay.
The sub.
Very
Yes.
good. Very good. Number 3. In which sentence can you not delete that? Can you not delete that? In which one?
I
In
don't know, teacher. I'm kind of confused with this sentence. In which sentence can you not delete that?
can you not? ¿En cuál no le puedes quitar el that? Porque te quedaría mal.
I've lost the magazine that I was reading.
No, in this case, the magazine is the object. The subject is I. Look at the first one. A photocopier is a
The
machine.
copy is a machine that makes copy of
In
pages.
this case,
That's the correct.
photocopier is the subject. En este caso sería el sujeto, ¿cierto? Entonces no podemos quitarle that. Si le quitas that, te quedaría a photocopier is a machine makes copies of page. That makes copies of page because you are talking about the machine in this case, the photocopier, okay? The photocopier.
Okay.
So in this case, it is not possible, okay? It is not possible to delete that because it's the subject. Very good. Number 4, what cannot go in the space? Cannot go in the space.
Who, teacher?
Yes, who? What is the reason?
Because we are talking about an animal, not a
Yes,
person.
not a person. Very good. And who is just to talk about person. Number 5, rewrite these sentences. Rewrite these sentences. You have two sentences. Greg bought a camera yesterday, and the camera doesn't work. So you need to join both sentences using the relative clauses.
The third. The
The third
camera
one,
about
that
brown yesterday doesn't work.
okay, very good, excellent. Number 6, what can't you write in the space?
The second answer.
Yes, the second, no word is needed here. Yes, very good, Laura. Number 7, rewrite these sentences. One more time. You have two sentences and you need to rewrite like just one using the relative clauses. I met a man at a meeting last week. The man was at the party.
I think that the right one is the second.
The second one, but
Yes.
look at this. I met a man at the meeting. I met a man at the meeting. The man was at the party. And it said the man who I met at the party last week was at the meeting. And it said I met a man at the meeting.
Okay. The man I met at the meeting last week was at the party. So
Yes,
is the
exactly. It's the third one. It's the third word, not the second one. Not the second because that is not correct according to the sentence we have in here. Number 8, complete the sentence. That is a job.
where, teacher.
Okay, where? Because you are talking about a shop, a place. Very good. And number 9,
That, teacher.
that's
There's the
using,
one that I met last week.
but look, try to analyze the sentence because maybe it is not necessary that in this case. There is the woman. The woman is the subject or is the object of the sentence?
Is the
I say
object.
yes. So no word
No worries needed here.
No word is needed here. Yes, no word is needed here because the woman is the object. And when the noun you are talking about is the object of the sentence, it is not necessary. Okay, it is not necessary to use the relative pronoun. And the last one, which sentence needs the word who? Which sentence needs the word who?
I don't know, maybe the third one. Is
Or the
that the one
second one?
who Dan was talking about? Is that the woman who lives?
Who lives next door to your
Is
grandmother?
that your
Which one?
grandmother?
The second one?
The second teacher, yes.
Yes, the second one, because it is necessary here. Is that the woman who lives next door to your grandmother? In the third one, no. Is that the woman who Dan? No, just is that the woman Dan was talking about? Okay, very good, excellent, Laura, very good.
Uh,
And that is the end. We finish. We finish this class. Tell me how was the class for you?
Entertaining teacher. It was entertaining. I had a lot of practice, and I really enjoyed the topic because I recognize that I have some problems when you have to delete when the relative pronoun is not necessary. I
Okay.
made mistakes about that because I on my writing
Mhm.
I made mistakes about that. So I think that this topic is useful for that. Is for improving our writing.
Okay, very good, Laura. Thanks for your attendance. And I have a question. The next week on Friday, it is holiday because it is May 1st. Is the Workers' Day. But can you be in the class?
Yeah, teacher, I don't have any problem.
Yes, I don't have any problem too. But your classmates are not here, so I don't know what to with them. But okay, we will have classes. Okay, we are gonna have classes the next week on the same schedule. Okay, on the same
Okay,
schedule.
teacher.
So
Perfect.
see you, yes, because we are gonna have just 4 lessons more the next week, and the following week just one lesson and the final exam, and we end up. Okay, and we
Okay,
are.
teacher.
So see you on Wednesday. See you on Wednesday at 8 a.m. Thanks a lot, Laura, and take
Okay,
care. See you on Wednesday. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.
you too,
Goodbye.
teacher.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks
Goodbye.
to you.